scale than usual. South Korean government sources say that Pyongyang held its military parade at 11 a.m. North Korea time at Kim Il-sung Square. The parade reportedly lasted for roughly 1 hour and 30 minutes, just half of the time of the previous parade in April last year. The parade was indeed smaller in scale than previous ones. As for the size and type of weapons displayed along the parade, Seoul and Washington are still running further analysis. The military parade comes after North Korea announced last month that it designated February 8th as its official founding day of its Korean People's Army, moving the date from April 25th. The parade also follows Pyongyang's declaration early this year that it had completed its nuclear weapons program. Questions remain as to why the regime downscaled its parade and didn't broadcast it live. But speculations are that the regime is paying more attention to the international community's response in the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics atmosphere down in South Korea. Pyongyang had invited foreign press to cover the parade, but the invitation was later canceled by the regime. 오정희.
Missiles and tanks rolled into North Korea's historic Kim Il-sung Square Thursday in a highly anticipated parade of military might on the eve of South Korea's Winter Olympics. The choreographed display involved hundreds of soldiers marching in unison, planes soaring above and four of Pyongyang's newest and most sophisticated missile, the Hwasong-15. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un watched all of it from a balcony above. The parade is being held to mark the day Kim's grandfather, Kim Il-sung, formed the Korean People's Army and came as celebrations started in the south for the games in the resort city of Pyeongchang. Kim and his wife, Ri Sol-ju, arrived by limousine and stepped out onto a red carpet. Kim arrived at last year's military parade in the same fashion but without his wife by his side. Wearing a black fedora, the North Korean leader spoke from the balcony, addressing his people about the scourge of imperialism and the need to address it. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, right, and his wife Ri Sol-ju arrived at the parade. Kim declared that the military parade would show to the world that North Korea has developed into a world-class military power. As long as imperialism is present on the earth and US's hostile policy against North Korea continues, the mission of the Korea People's Army to be the strong sword that protects the country and people. And peace can never change, the North Korean leader said. The final victory lies to our party and people who are holding the guns. Talks of revolution, Kim added. A screenshot from North Korean state television shows the scale of the military parade. After the address, what appeared to be a bevy of North Korea's latest intercontinental range ballistic missiles, ICBMs, were brought out on top of mobile launchers. However, the missiles themselves may not be viable. Some believe that Pyongyang does not trot out viable missiles out of fear of an accident. Unlike last year's parade, North Korea did not introduce the world to any new missile systems. This was a much more grounded military parade in the sense that these are real systems they have actually tested, said Dave Schmerler, a research associate at the Middlebury Institute for International Studies Center for Non-Proliferation Studies. An official at South Korea's Defense Ministry told CNN that compared to last year, the parade's content and scale both seem to have been reduced. South Korean news agency Yonhap reported that as many as 50,000 people gathered in the city's Kim Il-sung Square to watch the event, which included around 13,000 soldiers. Diplomatic sources told CNN last month that hundreds of rockets and missiles would be featured during the display. The parade began at 10 a.m. Pyongyang time, a diplomatic source with deep knowledge of North Korea's activities told CNN. At around the same time, hundreds of North Koreans who are in South Korea for the 2018 Winter Olympics attended a welcoming ceremony in Pyeongchang. Pyongyang's decision to hold a military display so close to the start of the Games is viewed by many as a poke in the eye to the administration of South Korean President Moon Jae-in, which has gone to extra lengths to present these Olympics as a symbol of peaceful cooperation. International media wasn't invited into North Korea to see the parade, but North Korean state media aired footage after it finished on Thursday. The footage was tightly put together, and included shots from what appeared to be drones above the soldiers and wide-angle action cameras mounted on the front of trucks. It's unclear if the video was altered in any way, as North Korea state media has been caught modifying its imagery before. Shortly before the parade was broadcast on state media, Images trickled out on social media. Soldiers stand guard at North Korea's military parade. Michael Spiver, who runs a cultural exchange business that facilitates trips into North Korea, shared images showing what appeared to be hundreds of bystanders standing by the main thoroughfare in Pyongyang, with soldiers in trucks and atop tanks waving to them. The North's participation in the Games was the result of painstaking diplomatic negotiations between Seoul and Pyongyang, the first of their kind in nearly 2 years. North Korea is sending a delegation of athletes, performers, and high-ranking officials, including the country's premier and Kim Jong-un's younger sister, Kim Yo-jong, who is believed to be one of his most trusted advisors. Reporter by USA News.
Confirmation from the Secretary of Defense Wednesday that a military parade could be in the works.
We've been putting together some options. We'll send them up to the White House for decision.
Reasoning for the seemingly out-of-the-blue presidential request varies. While Mattis said it was due to President Donald Trump's love for the troops.
The president's respect, his fondness for the military, I think is reflected in him asking for these options.
Others say it is simply narcissistic.
This is not about the troops. This is about assuaging the commander-in-chief's ego, and it's a fragile one at that.
Trump has often said he wants a U.S. military parade to top the one he watched in Paris last July. Grandiose military parades are rare in the United States, with the most recent being in the early 1990s to celebrate U.S. troops' victory in the Gulf War. Critics say military parades are more often associated with dictatorships, from North Korean missile displays to decades-old Red Square celebrations in Russia to the display China gave Trump during his visit last year. And retired General Eaton says the troops have more important things to do.
With Afghanistan underway, with Iraq drawing down, and perhaps preparations for North Korea, the troops just don't have the time. So this is just all around a colossal bad idea.
With a deal for a fully funded military just approved in the Senate, finding the money for such an expensive endeavor could prove difficult. But this president is not known for backing down. Carla Babb, VOA News, The Pentagon.
Kim Yo-jong, the younger sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, is expected to arrive in South Korea on Friday afternoon. She will be the first member of the North ruling Kim family to ever set foot on South Korean soil. The prominent figure is scheduled to arrive at Incheon International Airport at 1:30 p.m. on a private jet flying directly from Pyongyang. Kim Jong-un's influential sister will be accompanied by 3 other top officials, and the plane is expected to return to Pyongyang as soon as the passengers disembark. The jet will come back on the evening of February 11th to take the high-level delegation back home. Kim Yo-jong is expected to head to Pyeongchang to attend the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics. The 30-year-old Kim, who has seen her profile rise steadily since 2014, was promoted to North Korea's Politburo last year. However, according to North Korea experts, Kim Yo-jong's sudden inclusion in the North Korean high-level delegation may have irritated the United States, which has sent its own delegation led by Vice President Mike Pence to counter North Korea's charm offensive. Last year, the U.S. Treasury Department included Kim Yo-jong on its list of blacklisted officials. Seoul's Unification Ministry says it believes that Kim Yo-jong's visit is a reflection of the regime's willingness to ease tensions on the Korean peninsula, along with a message of celebration for the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics.